story.
Think about the future children. Mankind wicked and wild. Destroying generational. Anyway. Cyanide and mercury in the water. They let this poison in the water. The farmlands are chemicalized and I don't know what to do. And this is because of illegal mining and cocoa production declining, deforestation and rising of violent crime every day. Well, many men shall die because of the greedy of another man, yeah. Worldwide, many men shall die because of the greedy of another man, yeah. Nations, many men shall die because of the greedy of another man, yeah. The nation, many men shall die because of the greedy of another man, yeah. Worldwide, think about the future children. What kind of legacy you leaving for them? Selling and destroying generational wealth.
All right, so that's music from Stone Boy, Greedy Men. You know, talking about, you know, people who are destroying our environment to the extent that we're not even able to, you know, produce the right crops, including cocoa for exports and all that. And they're destroying our environment. Livestock are dying. And that's what we want to talk about this morning as our conversation on Love in the Morning. Listen, we want your support. We want to find solutions to fixing the Galamsey menace that we have on our hands. Because as we keep joking with the fight against Galamsey, according to Professor Frimpong Boateng, our very existence is threatened. Now, he says that, he was indeed asking when last we saw vultures. Now, he was saying this at a national dialogue on Galamsey organized by the Multimedia Group on Monday. And like I was saying a while ago, he made mention of the fact that vultures who play scavenger roles by picking up the dead things in our environment are no more. They are no more. And so if the vultures are not there to pick the dead stuff from our environment, then we are prone to diseases and sicknesses and we may die. Now, the unfortunate thing is that sadly, as we sit down and allow the Chinese, to destroy our environment, what is happening is that they are developing their country and they are producing things that hitherto we used to produce. All right. So as we speak, the Chinese have begun to cultivate cassava and process them into gari. Now, when they process them to gari, then they label it and say, this is from an unpolluted land. So our land is polluted, their land is not polluted, and therefore their gari is far better than ours. Put that aside. Professor Frimpong Boateng also talks about the fact that when it comes to the drugs that we use at our hospital or hospitals, 25% of the drugs come from the forest area, and yet we are allowing the activities of Galamseyers to destroy the herbs that we have. Take a listen to what Professor Frimpong Boateng had to say on Monday during that national dialogue on Galamsey. Take a listen to this. If this one does not shock you, I don't know what else will shock you about the activities of the Galamseyers destroying our environment. Take a listen to this.
The loss of habitat of many animals and reptiles, birds, especially birds that nest on high trees, like vultures and eagles, especially vultures. Now, how many of you have seen vultures in your area recently? When was the last time you saw a vulture? And you see, when you see the vultures dying, it's only a question of time that human beings also start dying. Because these are the scavengers. They pick up dead things so that we don't get sick. But now they've lost their habitat and their food sources, so they are dying. And then ground nesting birds that nest on the ground. I mean, they have no future. They are gone. Akokohiria and all those things. And 25% of the drugs that we use in hospital now are from herbs. Apart from that, there are herbal preparations. So these plants are our pharmacies as well. So as we destroy the greens that we see, we'll be destroying our lungs, we'll be destroying our supermarkets and our pharmacies. Meanwhile, Chinese people are helping us destroy our farmlands, but they are growing cocoa. Seriously. This is cocoa from China and it's grown on Hainan Island. I'll tell you some more. You see, you all read it. October 15th, 2020, China exported a batch of 500 kilograms of cocoa beans worth 3,000 euro, about $3,600 to Belgium. 500 kilograms. What the Chinese sold to what we got from our cocoa, which was 2,600 per 1,000 grams, 1,000 kilograms. So theirs was more expensive than ours. Now, keep those figures in mind. It was in 1885 that Ghana exported its first cocoa, 500 kilograms or 10 bags. Then in 1911, not too long after that, Ghana became the number one producer when we produced only 41,000 tons of cocoa. And we remained number one until 1987 when Brazil took over, and then we again, and then went over to Ivory Coast in 1978.
So that was Professor, Frimpong Boateng. And maybe that last bit about the Chinese producing cocoa, maybe you didn't get the import of what he was trying to put across very well. So all he was trying to say was that on the October 15, 2020, the Chinese who are now cultivating cocoa, they produced 500 kilograms worth of cocoa, sold it to Belgium at 3,600 euros. 500 kg, they sold it at 3,600 euros. We produced 1,000, not 500 as they did. We produced 1,000 kg, and then we sold it at 2,600. So yes, although it was less in kilograms, they got much more money than we did. I was telling you a while ago about the fact that, Professor Frimpong Boateng talks about, the Chinese who are also cultivating, cassava and processing them into gari. And then when they process their gari, then they label it and say, this is from an unpolluted land. So they are polluting our lands, or we are helping them pollute our lands. And then when they go to their country and cultivate the cassava plus other, crops, then they label it from an unpolluted land. Take a listen to Professor Frimpong Boateng.
This is gari produced from China. And when they are advertising it, do you know what they say? Produced from unpolluted land. That's how they sell their gari in Europe. China is a major producer of gari. And these are other things that they produce. Pawpaw, pineapple, avocado, coconut, watermelon, and all the things that you see around are produced in Hainan.
So if care is not taken, we'll get to a stage where we'll be importing pawpaw, plantain, and other things from China. That is after they have helped us, or we have helped them to destroy our environment. Now, Leo Stanley, let me first of all welcome one of our guests, Dr. Mrs. Benita Kumsin. She is a senior lecturer and consultant engineer at the Department of Materials Engineering, KN University, Ghana. Now, she holds a PhD and an MPhil and a BSc degree in minerals engineering from the University of Mines and Technology, that is UMAT Takwa, and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KN University, Kumasi, respectively. Now, she did her MPhil and PhD exchange programs at the University of Western Ontario, London, and then the University of South Australia, and plus other schools that she's attended. Dr. Kumsin, good morning to you, and thanks very much for your time.
Hello, good morning, Dave. Thank you for having me.
So, Doc, before I ask my first question, or put my first question to you, please hold the line for me. Now, Leo Stanley is with me, and he understands the terrain of Galamsey. When Prof was speaking and made mention of the fact that, aside from the fact that there are physical dangers that, stare us in the face and that people can fall into pits, there are cocohedias, and of course, he also talked about 25% of drugs used in the hospitals come from these areas, and that we are destroying them. You said something that this is real, and that
it's real, because when I was growing up, I used to see kiwi birds at our backyards in the streams and all that. But now I don't remember the last time I ever saw one of them, the one we call cocohedie. And as kids, we would even go and try and hunt them. And about the vultures. Now, if you go, unless you go to a place like Mayanka, you don't see a vulture anywhere anymore.
Or some baller. Yeah. Baller. So even they have reduced in number.
Yeah, now even ballers around areas, you don't see them. Yeah. It's only at Mayanka and a few places.
He says if they are no more, our very existence...
Yeah, it's a threat.
because these are the animals or the scavengers that pick up the dead materials in the environment.
Yeah.
So they protect us from getting sick.
But from all diseases, from bacteria and all that.
What beat my mind most was when he talked about the Chinese producing Gary, and then you said, "Sesai."
I don't understand. One, Chinese, the Garo is not an indigenous food to
delicacy for the
Chinese people. It is ours, right? We produce tons and tons of cassava, and this has to be our Chinese name shouldn't be on Gari. It doesn't make sense.
Let alone for them to say from an unpolluted land.
Yeah. So they are literally wrestling it away from our hands, and there is nothing we can do about it.
What do you mean by there's nothing we can do about it?
So
then we need to attach the seriousness to it. Let me go on to the phone lines now and speak to Dr. Kumsin. Doc, thanks very much for your time and of course for your patience. Now, you were part of the resource persons for the program that took place on Monday. I'm talking about the National Dialogue on Galamsey. How did you see the whole event? How did it go for you?
Well, thank you very much again, Dave, and good morning to our wonderful listeners out there. And thank you for the opportunity to also contribute to this discussion. Very important to me. So while on the panel, I thought that a lot of us were very diplomatic in handling the issue. And, well, it's a very sensitive one, and so I understand. And that's how I saw it. We didn't want to arouse any form of, ill feelings amongst us or create tension. And so that's the atmosphere I saw when we were discussing the issue. Nobody really wanted, everybody saw that there was a challenge, but we also didn't want to attack anyone. Yes, that's how I saw the entire discussion.
But Doc, in playing diplomacy with this, what does it make to the fight that we have on our hands?
Wow, that's a very good one. Thank you. So that means that we are being slow in taking action. That's what I also observed. So we really have to come together as a people. I said that. And then examine everything carefully with what Erastus has put out, with what Prof. Frimpomanso, with our, elder brother, Dr. Shibe, and all the others, what they were saying. We really have to be very tactful, bring every stakeholder on board, and then get to action. Solving the menace. Yes.
Before we get to how we can solve the menace and using tact in doing this, a lot of people spoke on the day. Now, despite the fact that they were diplomatic with their submissions and all, what did you hear on the day that scared you the most or was of concern or bothered you the most?
Thank you very much. You have discussed a lot about the issues or the concerns raised by Prof. Frimpomanso, so I'll take you a little bit away. What scared me the most was the fact that we didn't have any law preventing us from mining in our forest reserve. You even in the name reserve, that means it has been kept for a purpose, or we do not have to go there. That is supposed to serve a certain purpose. So I was very shocked when the commissioner was like, well, there is no law that is preventing us from encroaching on such land. So I think it is something that as a nation we'd have to look at and probably quickly put some documentation together or start a process to protect our forest reserve.
Doc, knowing the kind of people who are involved in the Galamsey, do you foresee this happening anytime soon?
Yeah, I think we can still dialogue on and find ways of if approach A is not working, I think we have to consider another approach. And I keep saying that it's all about dialoguing. Our culture tells us to dialogue a lot when it comes to issues that affect our health, issues that are affecting our environment. We need to bring everyone concerned on board and discuss. We need to open up and let them know that this is deteriorating our environment and killing us as a people. And then we begin to now act on the solutions available. As of now, we have solutions, but all of us are acting on it at our own levels, at our own levels, in a very small way or small pockets. But if we come together, we can do it. We can do it.
Doc, I'll come back to you on this question. That, what you touched on, the response you just gave about the fact that we have the solutions, but it's at very small levels. I'll come to that shortly. But to our listeners out there, now more than ever, I think you and I should be able to fight this Galamsey. Fight it with every tooth and nail, fight it head on. You heard Professor Fembon Boateng say that the scavengers in the vultures, they are becoming extinct. Now, once they die or they are no more, our very existence, your life, my life, is now, threatened, because these are the animals that would eat the dead material from our environment, so therefore we don't fall sick. They are no more. And so if you join us on Facebook, for example, right now on Love in the Morning, we've got a lot of things that was shared at that, dialogue. Join us on Facebook. Say the cocoa that is being produced or grown or cultivated in China. Go and see it for yourself. It's on Facebook. Okay? See the gari that the Chinese themselves have cultivated cassava, processed it into gari, and has labeled it from unpolluted lands. Our lands are polluted. Let's find solutions. In your own thoughts, in your own estimation, mention one key critical thing that would help us win this fight against Galamsey. I don't want to die now. But again, Dr. Kumsin, on that same Monday, late afternoon, the Ghana Water Company's Director of Communications, Stanley Mate, said that the water that they treat, the Ghana Water Company treats and serves us in our homes, that we use in cooking, in bathing, in drinking, and all that, he says it meets local and international standards. That's from, the Standards Authority and, of course, the iOS certification. Did you believe him?
Well, I will look at it in two different ways, because he is talking as an expert from his area and saying that, the water is clean. But I wasn't talking about meeting a certain standard, right? I'm looking at the fact that we are generating heavy metals at one point, and that is actually currently affecting the production cost of the Ghana Water, Company Limited, isn't it? So what we have to do now is to pick samples from households and check the distribution of heavy metals in them. Because just saying that you are doing something and also other people experiencing a different effect do not play on the same level. That's what I would say.
But again, Dr. Kumsin, indulge me. You are a scientist. Now, these heavy metals we're talking about, the metals that the Galamsey operators are using, we're talking about cadmium, we're talking about lead, we're talking about mercury. In treating water, and the chemicals that we use in treating water, can that treatment, can it do away with the cadmium and the mercuries and the leads?
We can talk of a lot, like reverse osmosis, which takes care of some of these ions, right? But since he is not present in this discussion, we cannot advance so much on his area. What I would say is that it will be very good to have a system in the whole production, to have a system in the production such that heavy metals are taken care of. That is all that I am advocating for.
Okay.
And I said this was in two ways. Aside Ghana Water, ask yourself in Kumasi, how many people subscribe to Ghana Water? A lot of people are now dependent on underground water. And so we have boreholes all over the place. Have you realized it, Dave?
I have. In fact, I have one in my home that I try to treat myself and use.
Exactly. And so that is what we are talking about. So if Ghana Water is producing excellent, potable water for people to use, that is good. But how about people who are using dug up wells? How about those people who are fetching from streams and all of that? And they are still in Kumasi and other parts of our nation. That is what we are talking about. That these people are exposed to the diverse effects of heavy metals from Galamsey menace, and as well even, I would want to also mention other companies who are even licensed and are not following the environmental regulations.
And indeed, if you follow some of the documentaries put together by Erastus Asaridonko, even at the Galamsey sites, you see children swimming in some of the river bodies, which of course looks very brownish. So you see the Galamsey operators themselves even drinking from that source of water and all that. But my question to you then again now is this: on that same program that Monday, evening, the CEO of the Minerals Commission said he will not allow any of his 4 children. No, he says he has 4 children. He will not allow any of them to drink the water from the Ghana Water Company. And so, which means that he does not see the Ghana Water Company water as safe. Doc, is the water safe?
I wouldn't want to just go out and say yes or no. This will be dependent on test works. And I think that they have data to, back that or not. And it will be good that we frequently sample what they are producing to test for.
Again, as we speak, Doctor, and the Galamsey operations are ongoing, it is believed that the next world war will be a war on water. In fact, they say it's going to happen in the next 50 years to 90 years or so. How true is this?
Well, with the current trend about the climate change, it looks like that's where we are heading. And as engineers, we look at facts, right? And everybody currently is experiencing issues on climate change. And that is why we are saying that we cannot just go ahead and destroy the forest because we want money. We have to do that sustainably so that in the years to come, we wouldn't have to go through any war of water.
But indeed, even the ones, if there's going to be a war on water, the ones that we have, we are destroying it currently. So it will mean that it will get to a stage where we don't even have any water at all to call our own. We have been told several times that if care is not taken, we'll get to a stage where Ghana would have to be importing water. And for our listeners, if you have time, maybe you're not driving, you are sitting at your office or something, just go onto Facebook right now on Love in the Morning, all right? Go on Facebook on Love in the Morning and see the cocoa that the Chinese have begun to cultivate. Hitherto, they didn't have cocoa cultivation. Now, as you heard Professor Frimpong Boateng say, in 2020, they exported 500 kilograms of cocoa to Belgium and sold it at 3,600 euros. We produced 1,000 and sold it at 2,600. So which means that this is more expensive because, like they keep saying, this is not from polluted lands. Doc, on that program that evening, Monday evening, you profess some solutions. This morning, I, for example, heard you say that in our own small ways, we have solutions, but we need to harmonize them or bring them together. How do we fix this problem? Let's look for solutions right now. What will you profess?
Thank you very much. So I suggested the actionable, sustainable solutions. And the first step to that is, the first step is that we bring all stakeholders together. The government, Minerals Commission, Forestry Commission, researchers. And of course, the people who are involved in Galamsey. And I dare to say that we have to also add the large mining companies and the other medium-scale licensed mining companies. Why am I saying this? Because they have practiced mining at a larger scale and are able to take care of our environment. And so once we bring all these people together, the researchers will communicate what we have. I have used iron oxides to remove lead and arsenic from Galamsey polluted water, and it was highly efficient. 97 to 99% efficiency. I worked on this with John Coulson, who was one of my immediate past master's students. And I also worked on something like this during my PhD. And so we are able to do it. Apart from that, UMass has also done some research on remediating the effects of Galamsey. And I know that they came up with very good results. What we need now is to bring all of these, results together and implement them. It is not just research and development. It is research, development, and deployment. And so we bring all these stakeholders together. I bring the materials I have been able to produce and I have ascertained. And then now we go on to fabricate, we go on to the field, and then get it deployed. But we have to understand that people are gaining livelihood from Galamsey. And so we need to dialogue with them. Let them understand the effects, the diverse effects of what they are doing. Educate them. When you go to large mining companies, they are training. What stops us from training these people, giving them a concession to maintain their livelihood so that we resolve the whole menace? We are able to do it because we have not just been trained to come and sit here and relax. We've been trained to serve humanity, and I stand for that. And so this is how I think we can manage the whole Galamsey menace. We don't have to fight with them. It's okay for you to call it a fight, but remember, we are brothers and sisters. If we do not stand up together, you are talking about Chinese doing this and Chinese doing that. They have been able to create a strong niche for themselves. They go into other cultures, they study what the culture has to offer, and they're able to replicate it to their advantage. We are here still complaining. Instead of complaining, let us get our Gary done. Let us resolve our land issues. Get to our farming. We need to hold the gates of what we have. We need to train our young people and our middle, whoever it is. Let us come together as a people and then create a better nation for ourselves. People are leaving the country. The economy is difficult. It is all because we have not decided to work together as a people. Let us not see this as a fight. Let us see this as resolution or remediation to what is bothering us. And I believe we will be able to create impact.
For those of you who know Dr. Kumsin very well, she's always calm and very, very reserved. For the very first time ever since I got to know Dr. Kumsin, this is the very first time I can feel the pain and the hurt and the passion, the anger in her voice. This is the very first time. And so it tells you that as we do kwakwasa like, Martin Kpebu will say, with the Galamsey fight, we're destroying our pharmacy, we're destroying our, the supermarkets, we're destroying our economy. Listen, ever since we started producing Gary in this country by cultivating cassava, go to Aulaga, behind Aulaga, you see the women, they're still holding knives and holding the cassava. No more sensitive by cassava. No. We are showing you a video on Facebook right now on Love in the Morning. Love in the Morning. Go on Facebook right now. The Chinese have created a machine that peels the Gary,
washes it.
It washes it. It dries it and then grills it and then turns it into Gary. In Ghana, since 19 we are using a knife and the cassava in hand and then we peel it.
And the pan and fire.
And then hold on. And then we put it in a certain sack, put stones on it. With some man-made machine to take the starch or the liquid out. And then we look for some pan. And then a crabby bone chain, and then we're fanning it and then we're turning it into Gary. See what the Chinese are doing. And then when they are done, they'll come and tell us that it is produced from an unpolluted land. And Doctor talked about it. But Doc, you mentioned...
And that unpolluted land, the polluted ones, they are the ones who are polluted.
We are helping them pollute it.
Yeah. No. That's a wrong assertion.
We're helping them pollute it.
It is Ghanaians polluting it
with
a direct partnership with the two. We are leading the charge.
We're supporting them. That's what we're doing. But Doctor, Dr. Kumsin, you mentioned a while ago that we need to find alternative livelihoods for them. Looking at how much the Galamsey fetches them, how prepared are they to look for alternative lives of livelihood, and will they accept it, Doc?
Yes, thank you very much, Dave. So it's all about dialoguing. And apart from that, I also did mention that of course, they can still continue mining. We just have to do it in a sustainable manner. And this will come with a lot of training.
I'll say a big thank you to you for your time with us this morning. We're really, really indeed grateful to you. The fight has just begun. And I just hope and pray that this time around, I felt that seriousness in your voice not too long ago. I pray that I'll see same in Ghanaians who come and say, are you still talking about Ghana? Are you still thinking about Ghana? Are you still talking about Galamsey? Professor Frimpong Boateng says our very existence is now at risk. Now more than ever, let's find solutions to this Galamsey problem. I was hurt when I heard Professor Frimpong Boateng say on Monday evening that the people who are at the Galamsey are the big ones that we cannot touch. Really? Dr. Kumsin, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Dave, and have a beautiful morning.
You too, Doc. So, Leo, we've done several documentaries. Yeah. Yesterday, when we were having the online, conversation about the incarceration of Ashan Wang and all that, I said something and you supported it. I said, with all the beautiful documentaries that Erasmus has been able to put together, one key thing we need to do with the documentary is to get into the places where the Galamsey itself is happening.
Yeah.
Let them see for themselves babies with 6 fingers, babies with 4 toes, babies who are dying as a result of the distraction to the environment.
It's on Facebook, so they can see it.
I'm sorry, people who in the rural areas. They don't even know how to go onto Facebook to watch these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get the Information Services Department, mount a big screen, and then show it to them.
Yeah, and this has been my worry over the years, because always it looks like we sit in the cities, and then all the big brains will come and talk. Yeah, then we just send the army over there to go and drive people out, forgetting that it's not just about stopping the Galamsey activities, but also reorienting the people themselves to understand that what they are doing is not good. I have been in this industry before. Before I was there, I didn't, even though I knew, that the environment was being destroyed and all that, but as to the gravity of the situation, I didn't grasp it until I came out and then I started looking at it from a different angle. Now, it's the same thing that is happening over there. Because I remember, I say, it's a friend, and then the soldiers will start coming. And these same people who we sit in Accra and talk to and make these decisions will call their people in the forest and into Monso, right? And hide and seek game that we are playing. I think with the documentaries that we have produced, Erasmus's wonderful work, and every other thing that we do in fighting, the fight should be taken to the grounds over there. Get to the schools. Can you imagine that in mining areas, some of the primary school students come to school with instead of school bags, they'll be carrying the thing they call the code word, the pan that they use to wash. Or class nechi. If you ask them, you say me galao. How many of these classrooms or how many of these teachers have been sensitizing the students in the classroom, teaching them about these things, showing them the material that we've been producing here? And I can tell you that is zero, because Omutim, it's just part of their life, right? So if we can intensify, that training, that advocacy, and make sure that it gets into their heads.
So yours will be under, if I'm collating it, it will be under local outreach,
all that,
local outreach, sensitization of people, education of people, using audio visuals.
So let's get the NCC. Let's get the NCC. Let's get the Information Services Department. Let's get to
Omuni Petro.
If we are serious, Omuni Petro says,
but when COVID hit,
I understand what you're saying.
They don't have vans.
No, but even when they were giving vans after the COVID, the vans were retrieved from them. It was taken away from them. What I'm saying is this: listen, unless of course we come to terms, say, I didn't say, okay, you say Ghana, but if people like you and I, who feel what is going on is bad and wrong, and are willing to really do something about it, we will not sit back and say,
do you know my solutions?
I'll take that solution from you shortly. But like we were saying, back to you, Leo, again. You know that the thing has gone on so much that people themselves have stopped to farm. In the documentary that Russell put together, there was a family. The man has about 5 kids. They are doing Galamsey.
Yeah.
So it means that we have not really gotten to their minds.
Their minds, yeah. About the babies that are being born with multiple limbs and all that.
Indulge me, please indulge me. And listeners, I plead with you, go onto Facebook right now. See what the Chinese are doing right now. This is Gary processing. We're being Ghana. About cocoa, the same thing. Listen, I'm begging you, you make time, whatever you're doing, even if you're driving. This is our own existence we're talking about. Park your vehicle. Joe, start this video.
And David, it's not like it's a big machine being. It's not like
look at what they have done. Look at what they have done. So they are washing the cassava in a very clean machine. This is how they are washing it. And then the machine, after washing it, another machine will peel it. Another machine will see the starch from it. Yeah. What is wrong with black man? What is wrong with us?
And then do you know what's sad? Do you know what's saddening me about the whole thing? When I watched for almost 5 hours, I was watching my sister, and do you know what she even pointed? Bro, say yes, almost say perform on polluted land. So I went back to check, because on the stream they will do this and they will label. Do you know why they are doing the labeling? Because the EU has threatened or warned us
on cocoa
twice,
and some pineapple and other fruits.
Yes, they are taking advantage of that.
So they are taking advantage of that through the labeling of what they are producing to get a market for it. Yes, China's climate may not suit cocoa production, but as I told you, with modern technology, everything is possible. Even clouds, even rains. Rain can be made to fall at top high. It's possible. You can do cloud seeding everywhere. So they are leveraging our own ineptness, our own patriotism, and our wickedness, and they are cashing in. And we are allowing us, David, for me, maybe my solutions may be too radical. But David, I think that it's high time anybody arrested in Galamsey should be charged with treason. Well,
this is not radical enough. I heard people say shoot to kill.
I won't say shoot to kill.
I'm saying I have heard
because you may find me there, you don't know what I'm doing. But I'm saying that anybody found there, established that you've even poured 10 millimeters of poison into a water body, you should be charged with treason. 2, David. For me, it's time to invoke the traditional gods.
Antoine Yamen.
See,
but I was coming to that. When I was talking about the babies with limbs,
let me activate the phone lines and you land. Don't worry. Right. So let's activate the phone lines right now on 0322083596, 0322083597, 0322083598. We're not asking you to come and lament. In your own estimation, how do we solve this? How do we fix this? How do we win this battle?
We are tabulating that.
That's what we're doing right now. And for your information, we're doing this and we're going to take it to the regional minister. All right? We're going to do this and take it to the regional minister. So, let's hear from you. Call us.
Yeah. So I was saying with the babies who are Obiwo akwala ni TME no it happen 1 or 2 times, then they will attribute it to spiritual something. What if we go there and then like I was saying, sensitize them, say it's not any witchcraft or any gods that are punishing you. It is your own activities in your own backyard that is doing that.
Well, I pray that what the 2-4 began, he'll continue doing it. Where 2-4,
hello,
these two several more chiefs whose areas the Galamsey is rife. We have Christoph on the line, Kofi Bedu on the line, and my namesake David on the line as well. Christoph came through the first. So Chris, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother David. I hope you are fine, sir.
I am well.
David, today is Nana Semensha's father's funeral. It's taking place at Hotel de Semensha, close to Love FM. David, the lady you spoke to, the doctor you spoke to, she has made my day. She has made my day. All the people who attended this conference yesterday or something, they were scratching on the surface of the whole problem. They don't want to implicate anybody. They don't want to offend anybody. They don't want people to say that they are saying that areas. And they were economical about the truth. And where we are heading to is horrible and terrible. There is no commitment. There is no testicular fortitude to fight this Galamsey. David, we meet and we speak big grammar. Can I speak big grammar? To me, this is my suggestion. Look, David, let's make these laws punishable. Anybody found engaging in small scale or whatever Galamsey, they should be charged with treason. They should be punished. David, that's the only way. David, we are toiling with our future, with our destiny. We are toiling with our whole life. Because, David, water is life.
I hear you. Water indeed is life. Thanks very much, Christoph, for passing through. Kofi Bedu, welcome and good morning.
Hi, Dave. How are you doing?
Charlie, I'm disturbed and worried, but Charlie, I'm alive.
You're right. I'm equally. Dave, I'm putting my presidency on the line. This is what the president said, that he's putting his presidency on the line, not knowing that was a hoax. Dave, I monitored that program right from the beginning to the end, and I heard that the forestry commissioner saying that there is no ban on the mining in the forestry. It is quite sad, Dave. Is that the leaders that we are having in this country to buy this Galamsey? It is not knowing the future of this country is bleak. If we don't take strict action, all of us, our voice, our contribution can make a change there. You see, the leadership of this country has failed in this fighting against the Galamsey. Because look, the imperial mining belongs to the chairman to me. Akwenta mining belongs to the chairman to me. So, I can say that the leadership of this country, the NPP leadership are into Galamsey. And this is the solution. If you go to China, for instance, they have a lot of, gold on their land. But the punishment of mining or illegal mining in that country is death. It's death sentence. That's what they will give you.
I hear you. So maybe that's what you're professing. I will do same here. Kofi Bedu, thanks very much. Please let's go straight to the point so we can pick as many calls as possible. 03220-83596, 03220-83597, 03220-83598. Name. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you all?
Charlie, we're well. Let's hear you, David.
Okay. You are saying I shouldn't lament, so I'll stop. But I'll come back to it. David, in Love FM there, let me narrow it down to your place. If there's an employee there who is misbehaving and there needs to be disciplinary action, which of the management members will be charged with that responsibility?
Hey, Agla.
Or is it the general manager or the HR or the finance manager? Or I want you to be specific.
He's a general manager. That's where the buck stops.
Oh, okay. You don't have an HR there.
I have an HR, but Charlie, I'm saying that here, what I know is that our general manager supersedes everything.
Okay, I'll accept it that way. So in this fight, in this Galamsey fight, who are we supposed to pinpoint?
If you ask me, I'll say the president.
David, I hear you are asking us for solutions. Haven't Erasmus done all these things? The last time Erasmus was in the studio, I asked him, when did he start this fight? And he said 2014 or 2015, thereabout. Maybe, is this thing a rocket science? This fight against Galamsey, should we go and sit in the classroom and be calculating Pythagoras theorem to find a solution? 8 years. You can't find solution to this problem. So, David, when I come and I'm telling you and I'm lamenting, then you too, you have a problem with me. Human beings created in the image of God. We put brains in this our coconut heads. Oh, so we should wait. You see what you and Eugene and Co are saying in the studio, the Chinese people. They say Sini. Have a nice day. Anyway, I wish you God's blessing.
I'm even dumbfounded. Johnny, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Say, boss.
I have a solution. Hello?
Yes, let's hear your solution, sir.
Good. We shouldn't blame anybody that he's the cause of it. We shouldn't blame any politician. Let's say that this Galamsey issue has started today, and it is a terrorist attack on Ghana. And so when we are attacked by terrorists, we don't fold our arms and sit down and say that there will be human rights issue. This is the second time I'm saying this. Somebody also said it yesterday. Look, today is 6th of December. The president, we should all impress upon the president to declare a war against Galamsey as a terrorist act. From 7th January, the soldiers should go in, shoot everybody that is in, and kill them. You see, when we're fighting independence, people die. If we are fighting for our land again, people must die. That is the only solution. When they kill about 100, the rest will run. Nobody.
Hey, Johnny. This one is radical foul. George, good morning.
The actionable solution.
This is radical. Johnny, good morning. George, good morning.
David. It's George.
Yeah, George, good morning. Welcome, sir.
David, if we didn't vote for Akufo-Addo, we would have said a man came to solve our problems and we refused to vote for him. But look at this president. They are destroying everything. David, I've heard that in China, if you are caught dropping a paper in a river, you will be jailed. But if the paper is found to contain liquid, it is death sentence. But look at the Chinese. We gave them the opportunity to come here, destroy our forests, destroy our water bodies, and now they are taking over our cocoa. David, this leadership doesn't have this nation at heart. They are destroying everything. They are taking loans to be paid 40 to 30 years where they will not be there. So, David, the best thing is to vote them out and look for people, someone who have this nation at heart. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much, George. Yeah, someone political thinker. Welcome. Ishmael.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, political thinker. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I think that the people in the Galamsey, it will be difficult to fight them down. So the solution is that we have to create the sustainable mining process for them in such a way that they will do it without polluting our river bodies. Because currently, even the community mining that they are saying that they are doing, go and see the way that they are doing it. They are polluting our river bodies. So I think that people must move from Accra, come down here, work hard, and ensure that things are in order. Because unless there's no way to say that I am stopping Galamsey, it is impossible. So it is time for us to call the state a state and find the proper way to do it. Thank you very much, Paman.
Thank you very much, political thinker. There. Our very final caller is Kofi. Good morning.
Yeah, Dave. I think Akufo-Addo government has done whatever they can, but they have failed. The last solution that will solve this problem is for Akufo-Addo to give power to the chiefs and their people to fight those Galamseyers whenever they find them on their land. Look, the chiefs should organize their people, arm them. Whoever comes on their land to mine, they should fight them by shooting, by doing everything. I think if this power is given to the chiefs and the people, Galamsey will stop. Because I know of a community, when these Galamseyers go there and the people mobilize themselves and confront them, they just go away. And so it is only the people in the communities that can fight this fight. If we don't do this, David, we cannot fight this and win it at all.
Kofi, thank you very much for your contribution to our show this morning. As always, we're grateful to all of you for calling. We've got your contributions also on our WhatsApp console. Lou Stanley is sitting behind it and is going to play it for us to hear.
Hello, good morning, Love FM. My name is Edem. I'm recording from Bokrom. Please, do you know what I think? I think the Chinese, especially Aisha Wan, is a spy. She was sent with other Chinese people to come to Africa, especially Ghana, to pollute our lands. You know, they have even produced the machine that breaks the cocoa pods. We don't have it, you see, so they don't use the cutlasses. And that's my thinking. I think they were sent here to come and destroy our land through Galamsey and other activities, to buy our cocoa farms and destroy them, so that they will go back and be the producer, highest producer of cocoa in the world.
At this point, you would want to believe anything.
Yeah, but what else can you? Because if you remember what Yasef said, the first time Aisha was going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? She was going to be expedited from this country.
No.
Yeah. And the fact that, we have deported, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you very much. And what he said about our relations with the Chinese and all that. I mean, let's hear another one. Why?
Yeah, hello, the Superman, David Akwete. Please, good morning. And my greetings to...
Called on the show, so let's keep his message. He called on the show, so let's keep his message.
You know his voice.
Dave, my name is Paul. Good morning. Dave, I know Love FM is an English-speaking radio, but matters like this and the harm and whatever it's causing, Dave, this brofu thing no wow. David, it will not help. Abrobi any they don't get you. Inti Nasre say programs such as this which affects the whole nation, affects and to some extent the whole world. Yeah, me brofu no to dan yente so.
Leonard said
they say they all can agree. They say because cadmium pollution lead for the who. It tells you.
Show out of 4.5.
I know someone more Love FM is my station every day. My car, my house, my workplace is always Love FM. But I think it's hard time all the radio stations more together. Muni one day, 1 week. All the documentaries are my yes, other people's put all of them together. To be a two radio station to be piano pa. It is about this and the harm it is causing.
Good morning, Dave. This is Isaac. Did you hear what the pathologist said during the Joy FM engagement? He said a politician called him, telling him what he's doing is fake. So the solution is with the politicians, the leaders of this country. If they have the political will to fight this canker, I mean, this thing will be nipped in the bud. Krasini now, one hour illegal man, when this guy to Shamfa machine, the equipment that are used for illegal mining are purchased by these big men. Okay, so our concentration of focus should be taken. Now, do you hear the president talking again about Galamsey? Because his people and even he himself is complicit in the fight. So we should target our leaders because they have the resources to fight this.
Good morning, Dave. This is Malik. Dave, this government is not thinking about us. There is no way this government will fight Galamsey. I tell you, there is no way they will fight Galamsey. We are going into election next year, 2024. They need more money to share to vulnerable Ghanaians so that they vote for them. And one avenue that will give them money is Galamsey. So there's no way they are going to touch that subject. Dave, do you think, if you think this government is seriously want to fight Galamsey, do you think they will allow Untumi to walk free?
But again, I mean, Leo Stanley, I don't know, before you play the next one, a lot of contributions from our listeners is opening my mind to different angles of things again. Yeah. Because if sincerely we were a serious country, when the president said to us that he was prepared to put his presidency on the line, and this is what we have to show for our fight against Galamsey, in any serious jurisdiction, by this right now, by this present moment, the president will not be president.
Do you know what they say?
The president will not be president.
When you say this, they say that Akufo-Addo and the MPP lost in most Galamsey areas. Then they will say that, but do you know why? They lost because when you took the livelihood of the people, no matter whether legal or illegal, then you appropriated their machines for yourself.
Yeah.
So the people felt that that is it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
that's what happened.
It's only so when he told us that he was putting his presidency on the line, it was a joke.
Masa,
he didn't take us seriously.
Oh, jai.
Enanado.
David, good morning. David, you said you want solutions, right? The bigger problems who are leading it of this Galamsey, that we are not able to fight it, are the two big entities. These are the big people who are handling the Galamsey. We know it, the Imperial Mining and then the Akonta Mining. What's the name? Chairman Untumi, and then the other one, that Professor from what he mentioned, Gabi's people. If we tackle these two, the rest, they are just flies in our faces. We can just handle it. That is all.
We say a big thank you to all of you for sending in those voice notes. Listen, we are in this together. But some people have sent in messages as well. I think we can spend some 2 minutes to read some of the messages. Leo Stanley has sent you some of the messages. Somebody said, talking about we're in the cocoa season.
Yes.
And yeah, we're struggling, huh?
Yes. So it says we are in the peak of the cocoa season, but Cocoa Board is struggling to get high volumes. The defects we see in our cocoa is going higher, and if we don't take care, the world market will reject our cocoa. We are in December, and Cocoa Board is still struggling. It will take a miracle for Cocoa Board to hit its target tonnage this 2023-2024 season.
What is the target anyway?
I don't.
And how much do they even intend to sell it? When Chinese cocoa is even selling far higher than that of Ghana,
which means it's going to affect other areas of trade, because Ghana. It's when we pay cocoa farmers that they start buying for us.
Can you imagine get to a point in time where we cannot have cassava for Gary and we have to import Gary from China?
Common Gary, the lifesaver.
It's not that common, no.
I mean, for us,
let's say we have another message there, huh?
Okay, yeah. So this one also says, David, you see the Chinese are making mockery of us after destroying our water. After destroying our precious and fertile land through the help of our so-called leaders. How can China's cocoa and Gary be better than ours? They came to Ghana and learned how to cultivate cocoa, and now theirs is being sold higher than ours. What did we do wrong? I will always blame our leaders. They are very wicked and do not think about the citizens and generations to come. Now it's sad to be a Ghanaian.
Well, later this morning, the Super Morning Show team will have a conversation on, the fact that in no time it is likely that vehicle owners would have to pay 100 Ghana cedis for eco tax annually. That's every year. We'll pay 100 cedis for eco tax. So whether you drive diesel engine cars or petrol engine cars, you'll be paying that environmental excise duty. What do you make of it? Can Leo and I, can we even afford this e-cars, electronic cars? Well, that's a conversation coming up here later this morning on the Super Morning Show. But before we cross over, listen, Anointed Electrical Engineering Services Limited is into the sales of ultra-silent generators from 5 kVA to 2,500 kVA. They also undertake, maintain, and repair all kinds of diesel engine generators. They also stock genuine spare parts for all kinds of various generators and also do generator rentals. Christmas, just in case you want some generator to rent, because Unji, Sonia Sogli and Bui and all those things in D, actually, go to them, they'll rent you some generators. You can find them here in Kumasi at Asokwa. They are off the Akmayanka Road at TAT Yard. In Accra, their head office is at number 77 Anointed House. That is off the Odoko Malam Road. Call them at 0243 480-334 or 0544-340-589 and they will sort you out. Now, what is your preferred color of tank? Well, for your information, Syntex has it. What guarantee do you want? Again, Syntex has it. What kind of inner layer do you want? Is it double, triple, quadruple? For your information, as many inner layers as you want, Syntex has it too. Now, so remember, no matter what your water needs are, Syntex has it. Syntex tank, a year strong, a year tough. Now, they have over 300 agents nationwide. So to order a tank, just call 0244 335-168, or you can visit Syntex on social media at Syntex Ghana or shop online on www.syntexgh.com. This Christmas, make sure you don't run out of water. Get Syntex tank, which of course is strong, tough. Now, African World Airlines is thrilled to celebrate 10 years of customer loyalty on their Lagos route. Now, to join them in celebrating this milestone, seize the opportunity to book your tickets for as low as $164 one way, tax included. Head to their website or download their mobile app to secure your seats now and take advantage of this incredible offer. Thank you for continually choosing African World Airlines for all your travel needs. African World Airlines, touching Africa and indeed touching the world. Now, if you're looking for travel opportunity to study abroad, or maybe you're facing challenges in your applications for international admissions, visa and general travels, Astolinks International provides advisory on overseas education and general travels plus immigration issues. They have specialized in countries such as Australia, UK, USA, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, and many more. They also offer professional advice on general travel and tours. You can find Astolinks International at 4A Popo Street, East Legon in Accra. That's adjacent to Melcom. And at the basement, Kumasi City Mall. And if you're in Takoradi, at the Liberation Road, call them on 0550-199-991 or visit their website www.astolinks.net and they will sort you out. So we've got some more messages for you. Then we'll cross over to Joy 99.7 for more on the Super Morning Show. Please stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Kweku. I make business pitches by day and play on soccer pitches by night. I give both roles my all because I am more than just one thing. What about you?
We know you are not just about business. You also have other interests. That's why we are the bank that supports the many sides of you. Join ABSA to get every kind of business solution for every kind of you. Visit the nearest ABSA branch or absa.com.gh for more information.
No matter your water needs, Syntex has it all. Syntex tank was first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Syntex tank was first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana, and now introduces the customer specs order, which will let you order any color and size you want. Syntex tanks gives you the biggest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you. So whatever your water consumption, size of project, or demand, choose Syntex tank. Syntex tank, stress-free. Syntex